Well, hello everyone. It's been one more week, and we're gonna go ahead and look at these grow bags. And this one right here is the grow bag we started 3 weeks ago. This is the one that you have the instructions for that you got, and we're just, like I'm saying, walking you along and helping you get the best results out of it. First thing we'll probably want to do is not maybe, but we do want to just squirt everything down a little bit. I have these other bags that are at the next stage that I'm gonna break open and show you what you'll be doing with these ones. These smaller bags are, like I said, there's a good bit of mycelium in there. It's healthy, it's all the way around. And on these, at this point, they're not ready to go into making full-blown mushrooms yet, not into fruiting conditions. But what we can do to help it along, and I try not to mix it up too much, is if we just mix, we don't want to, that's why I put the wheatgrass inside of there, so that it can kind of have a separation between the dirt and everything else in here. So we just do the best we can to keep it on the bottom a little bit, but we'll mix it in so it can reach out and touch those other grains, and just it'll speed it up just a little bit more. And so as you can see, we've got them mixed in. We've done a little bit of a shake with it, and it's mixed in better. And we'll go ahead and do like we did before, and just bring it down and seal it real good, and get everything out of there. I always roll them to just roll the air out. The filters are a little harder when they have alcohol on them. You should be able to smell, like right now, you should be able to smell, you know, the nice, the earthy, the mushroom smell that people smell. Okay, that's probably about good. We got a bunch of that out of there. And I'll go ahead and put this to the side for a sec. And here's one of our larger fruiting blocks. It's been quite a week. We should have probably could have cracked it open probably a little bit before this, but we're gonna go ahead and I got a couple of them out. I'm gonna set up a tub for you, what to do when you finally do get your grow bag to this point right here. There's two different ways you can go about it, so I got out a couple of them so that we could do it both different ways, so maybe you could just figure out whichever way you want to do it. So if you get you a couple of rubber bands and just do all this while it's still sealed. And we'll get a rubber band on this thing. We'll bring it up a little bit. And in this style, we're trying to keep, you see the mushrooms, they'll grow towards oxygen. So on this one, we're going to have them just fruit. We've got these rubber bands on here real good. We're going to cut the top of the bag with the rubber band on so that it's getting oxygen up on the top, and we're just going to grow them out of the top and try not to get very many side pins and whatnot in the bag. And what we can do is, after we have fruited them out of the top, we can pull all the mushrooms off, and we'll soak it and stick it back in, and it'll do it all over again. So let's go ahead and, this one I say is a little bit past, because you really shouldn't let your mushrooms be growing in the bag without oxygen yet. They just kind of move fast sometimes, and they do breathe in oxygen and give off carbon dioxide, so they got to be able to get fresh oxygen and get rid of the carbon dioxide. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Oh, we got mushrooms on the sides of the bag. This one's our hillbilly mushroom, by the way, in one of our bigger grow bags, larger size. We'll just keep going around in a circle and trimming it down. And at this point, I guess you could kind of explain it like, if you ever seen like maybe a bunch of pigs drinking or eating out of a trough, and they're only so tall, and there's only enough room for all the pigs to get in there, and so they're lined up shoulder to shoulder, and all the pigs are eating. There's no room for something else to get in there and eat. And that's kind of like the same thing with the mycelium. What I've found, it's built up a little bit of, like, you can take it out in the air now. This is when it's at a point where it's colonized everything. You can take it out and it can breathe a little bit, and it's not just going to get destroyed by anything. But my analogy is everything's kind of encased. There's no room for something to come in and eat anymore. So even on like your grains, when your grain is colonized around the whole grain, it's kind of like there's not any room, and the mushroom can hang on. So we'll bring this down a bit more. And there you have it. We got some mushrooms growing out of it already. Just a few. We'll get much more than that out of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get the tub up on the table. I'm going to set the tub up for you. And we'll cut these bags open, these other two open as well. And we'll put one inside the tub like this, where we'll fruit it out of the top. And we'll put these two in the tub, and we'll take them all the way out of the bag, and we'll just let them grow mushrooms wherever they want. And so give me just a moment, and we'll be at that stage. Thank you. Okay, so here we are with the tub we're going to be using. I mean, once you go and buy one of these, you can pretty much use them over and over. That's what we do. And here on this tub, we drilled a 1.25 inch hole. We put them 3 inches apart, about 4 inches up. And then we did just a 1/4 inch hole all the way around, 1 inch apart, which that could be extreme. You could really get away with doing the holes up top and just doing one hole, big holes on the bottom if you want to, if you have problems cracking your tub. But if you can, it is nice to have the holes going all the way around. What you're trying to do is, they need to breathe in oxygen, and you're trying to keep the humidity up. So the carbon dioxide weighs more than the oxygen, and what we're trying to do is let oxygen come out and carbon dioxide leave the tub without losing the humidity in the tub. So your best friend is going to be paper tape. You can go to any store and get a thing of paper tape in the pharmacy aisle, and it's just basically like the white surgical tape that goes on cuts and stuff like that. Also, it's called micropore tape. And yeah, just get some paper tape and tape all your holes. I tape them on the inside and the outside. And this is a bigger tub since we're doing 3 of these blocks. These are our larger fruiting blocks that we offer. And this is a 75 liter or a 79.3 quart tub. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take some Paralite. You want to try to get about 1 inch of it on the bottom, I would say. It's probably about good. This is just going to be for moisture. And then what we're going to do then is just, we wanted to get it a good consistency where it's all absorbed. Some water, put a little bit more water. Not too much where the water pools, but just enough to where it all absorbs, kind of like a mud, you know. And there we go. Looks pretty good, about an inch high, like I was saying, and just enough to where you can mix it in to where you don't really see it pulling up nowhere. You just don't want no water to, you kind of want it to absorb in there and be moist and put moisture in the air and just not pool anywhere, you know. So now what we're going to do after that is we're going to take a piece of aluminum foil, and let me just wash my hand real quick. And we'll get that aluminum foil down in there just about like that. And what do we do with those? We'll take just a second and then we'll show it all to you from the top. All right, I'll just, now that we have the top view, I'll just show you. That's the consistency of the Paralite. It's just enough to where it's, you know, like I was saying, is where it absorbs the water and there's nothing pooling up real horrible or anything like that. So we got this layer that's sitting in between. And I just go get these racks. Keeps everything up off everything even a little more. And put a couple of these cooling racks in here. And then we can take this one right here and put him right here. Put him to that side. I bet you that thing's happy just to get a breath of fresh air. Let me find my scissors real quick. All right, now here's our view from the top. We got our racks in there. We got the first one, which we're gonna get to fruit out of the top, which is already, there's mushrooms coming out of that one. And these two right here, we're gonna fruit them from all sides. So here's one more look at everything. And we'll take another look in a week and we'll show you how everything's doing. If you just do one grow tub, watering. It's important to mist them down twice a day if you can, because I truly think that you want to mist it down and let the water evaporate off of it. You don't want to give it a real heavy drink. Like these didn't really need a drink, but I can just show you what a drink would look like maybe. That twice a day. And what you want to do is just put enough on the top for it to evaporate, because the mycelium will be able to tell. I don't know if this is a scientific fact or if it's how I think when I'm growing them, but I feel like the mycelium waits for the water to evaporate, just little droplets of it to evaporate off the top of itself, because that way it knows that the wind's blowing. So when the mushrooms grow, it'll bring it into a fruiting condition and it will grow mushrooms because it knows the wind is blowing, because it's evaporating off the top of it. So you can actually fan them, or you could just bring them out and give them just a breath of fresh air, but you should at least mist them twice a day if you can. I mean, the better you take care of them, if you mist them 3 times a day and get them out and fan them and everything, if you have the time to do that 3 times a day, then you're going to get more mushrooms. But even just twice a day is sufficient. And what you're going to want to do is keep this at about 75 degrees. And you can keep it anywhere that you have light that goes onto it. They don't have to have light, but they just appreciate it more. And they'll grow towards the light as well. First oxygen, and then they'll also grow towards the light. But you want to keep it at about 75 degrees and just have it somewhere where it can stay clean. And in about 2 weeks, there'll be mushrooms growing pretty much out of everywhere that's on these bricks, except for this one that we're just going to have fruit out of the top. So once again, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you guys in a week.